Nothing is more central to the MAGA ideology than hypocrisy, the type of hypocrisy that allows Donald Trump to say that he is anti-war while starting wars instead of ending them, to say he's pro-life while cutting billions of dollars in Medicaid, stealing people's insurance away, to say that he's pro-family while his wife is never around and his son is now missing. Yes, Barron Trump once again is missing in the middle of a number of scandals for Donald Trump that only makes the situation worse. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into this report on Barron and what it means for all of the family dynamics with Trump and I guess the contract that he probably has with Melania, I want to start with a different member of the Trump family, Mary Trump, who is just talking about her uncle's health. I see it in his eyes. Mary Trump links uncle's bizarre behavior to grandpa's Alzheimer's. Donald Trump's niece, the clinical psychologist and best-selling author Mary Trump, sees similarities between the 79-year-old president's increasingly erratic behavior, which has stoked questions about his physical and mental health, and that of his father, the New York property magnate Fred Trump, who suffered from Alzheimer's before dying in 1999 at the age of 93. I think the most important thing to know about Donald's health is that this is a person who has had very serious, severe psychiatric disorders that have gone undiagnosed, and they have worsened because they've never been treated, Mary said. So much of what we're seeing is a result of those undiagnosed, untreated psychiatric disorders. On top of that, there are clearly some physical health issues, and often it seems that it's not just that he's forgetting things. He doesn't seem to be oriented to space and time or place in time. And I'm not a neuropsychologist or neurologist of any kind. I used to be a neuropsychological testing, but that aside, I think the best frame of reference is, as you said, my experience with my grandfather. And I do see similarities again. The occasional confusion, where am I, who's around me, the forgetting of people who are right in front of him. And that was one very interesting experience with my grandfather. The least important people in his life were the people he forgot first. So you could sort of gauge your importance to him by how quickly he forgot you or how long it took for him to forget you. He ended up forgetting my grandmother. He never forgot Donald. So that was always fascinating to me, and he'd been married to her for over 60 years. Mary Trump was speaking to the Court of History podcast hosted by Clinton aide turned Lincoln biographer Sidney Blumenthal and the Princeton historian Sean Willens. There is no denying Donald Trump's cognitive decline at this point, and even though the mainstream media has completely failed to give this story the attention it deserves, every time Donald Trump has a verbal meltdown or is covering his hand with makeup, you have to talk about it. And that makes Donald Trump panic, because of course his biggest focus is projecting strength. That, and the other big focus of his presidency, which is grifting, which is what Donald Trump's family has been really locked in on lately. So before we get to Barron, the other scandal of his family, I want to start with what his sons are doing in the crypto market, because it's important for why Barron's missing.
The Trump family just launched a brand new cryptocurrency. It is called WLFI. Lauren, how much has the Trump family itself accumulated of this? How much?
Yeah, for World Liberty Financial, and the Wall Street Journal says it's $5 billion. So this coin, WLFI, is currently the 33rd largest coin by market cap, about $6 billion worth, according to CoinGecko. The family holds about a quarter of the tokens out there. They can't sell them, but now that the token has launched on the public markets, we have a valuation for it. The Wall Street Journal says this token is the family's most valuable asset, exceeding their property portfolio.
But they can't sell those tokens. They can't do it.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. Correct. Not yet.
My goodness me. $5 billion?
Eye-popping number.
Even Fox can acknowledge that this is one big scam. I saw a headline the other day saying that Eric Trump, because of this coin, is now a billionaire in his own right. In his own right? He didn't earn the money. He didn't make that money. He grifted the money. Eric Trump hasn't created anything of value. He is profiting off of his father's name. The accusation that was made against everyone in the Biden family for years by Republicans. And now that it's Donald Trump, nobody even cares. But this is not the only scandal happening within Donald Trump's family right now. We also see one at NYU. Barron Trump MIA for first week of classes at NYU. The president's mysterious teenage son was nowhere to be seen at the start of the school year. The president's ever-elusive youngest son is once again nowhere to be found. Barron Trump, 19, was expected to return for his sophomore year at New York University's Stern School of Business in Manhattan on Tuesday, but according to multiple campus security guards, Barron has not shown up. One officer told the outlet he was advised that Barron is doing a semester at another NYU campus, declining to elaborate to protect the teen's privacy. The Daily Beast has reached out to NYU and the First Lady's office, which handles personal questions about the presidential family. Barron is a man of many mysteries and has rarely been seen by his father's side since his dad's January inauguration. Despite his towering height of 6'7", Barron often lies low. He kept mainly to himself his freshman year of college, is an avid video game player, and was called an oddity on campus by the president of NYU College Republicans during an interview for Vanity Fair. So Barron is nowhere to be seen, and it only leads me to believe that he's also probably starting his own crypto grift venture. Oh, God, because that is all that this Trump family does, is see how much they can steal, profiteer, grift. That's the whole name of the game. Do you remember a few months ago when Donald Trump was in the middle of an unconstitutional attack on Iran and he launched a fragrance? Like, that is all they do. Perfume, cologne, not policy. No, that's not what they're focused on. It's making money off of their idiotic supporters. They do think they're dumb, by the way. I think this is very important. Hopefully one day, it's never going to happen, but maybe MAGA wakes up and realizes the fact that Donald Trump despises them and thinks they're idiots and he doesn't like his own supporters. But again, this is Trump in this moment of weakness trying to project strength. That's part of what the crypto grift is control, obviously. Donald Trump can use it as leverage to make companies pay him millions of dollars in exchange for not investigating them. Donald Trump is just trying to look strong while he is so weak. Weak not only because his mind is gone, but apparently so is his family. They'll profit off of him, but I don't know how much they want to be around. But it's another reason why Donald Trump is not looking to New York anymore as much as he's now looking to Chicago to attack a city with dropping crime, to pretend like that's not the case, so he can play the tough guy act. And of course, J.B. Pritzker has been standing up to that, and he did so in this interview right here.
So it's a kind of a frightening development in the history of the country that you have a federal government not communicating with state government about something like this.
As much as they're saying things on television, which is what people are hearing. There's been reports that they have been in touch at some level with local police or local law enforcement. What are you preparing for in terms of the scope of this?
Well, we did get one call finally. This is after weeks of Donald Trump threatening and saying he's sending troops in and not telling us exactly what their plan is. But we got one call from this fellow, Gregory Bovino, who's a leader at Customs and Border Patrol and ICE. And he's the one who caused a lot of the mayhem in Los Angeles. He is apparently leading the effort to come into Chicago. And he called our state police and let us know, let our state police director know only that they are coming and that they intend to be in place by the end of this week. And that's it. They didn't tell us how many. They didn't tell us what actions they're going to take. They didn't tell us what neighborhoods. Remember, we have local law enforcement here who are responsible for keeping the peace, making sure that we're operating at a appropriate level to keep crime down, and to have people roaming the streets, wearing uniforms, and arresting people off the streets, wearing masks and driving their military-like vehicles and tossing people in. And I mean, that's incredibly disruptive. Yeah. And if they would just let us know, Chicago Police, Illinois State Police, where they're going, what time they're going. I mean, we are obligated not to stand in the way, also not to assist. but we also can be of assistance to the residents by keeping them safe while these operations are going on. And again, no communication at all, and especially, of course, on the subject of whether they're going to send National Guard from another state or from my state into neighborhoods in Chicago.
There's also what seems one of the challenges also seems like there's multiple operations they seem to be preparing, at least from what they're saying publicly. There's also been reporting that the Defense Department has approved using a nearby naval base north of the city as a staging area for ICE. So that is not separate; it's all connected, and possibly to have that as a place where federal troops are. Do you have any sense even of the scope of the ICE operation that they're planning?
Not from ICE. We're getting, again, it's all secondhand, third-hand. There are a lot of patriotic Americans who work in the administration or work at the departments or in the military who have let us know things without, having permission to do so. And so I would call some of that rumor, but, well-sourced rumors. We also know because Great Lakes Naval Base, which is where they're stationing themselves, is in North Chicago, and so the North Chicago local police and local elected officials have at least some information. So, look, I don't have a lot to share with the public. Whatever I have heard, I have shared with the public, because I think everybody should know, despite the fact the federal government would like them not to know, apparently. So we think there are about 300 agents that may be at Great Lakes and preparing to invade the communities around Chicago, like Little Village, like Pilsen, perhaps beginning early morning tomorrow.
This feels a lot to me like the playbook they followed in LA, where they are upping or have plans seemingly to up their ICE operations, go into communities, go after and arrest people without criminal records, prompt people to protest, which is something we saw in LA, and then claim it is some sort of security threat that prompts military being in the streets. Do you see it as a playbook they're following? Is that what you're preparing for here?
It's, I believe, a nefarious plan. It's one that's been repeated over and over again by, tyrannical dictatorships across history, where you try to incite local population into some mayhem by sending in police or other disruptors, and then claim that there's too much mayhem on the ground, and therefore there must be troops that are sent in, and that's how you basically convert a democracy into something other than that.
Democrats need to take this opportunity to talk about policy that we usually shy away from. Donald Trump's policies on crime, on immigration, these things have failed. Democrats have succeeded. Talk about that. Don't run from the issue. If you think it's unpopular, work to make it popular. Talk about your message, talk about your success, hammer Donald Trump's failures. We're going to keep doing that on this show every single day, and if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.